What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Nas, and we're here with another reaction, man. Today we got how strong is Aang, the Avatar, the last Airbender. Without further ado, y'all know how we do. We're gonna hop right into it. If you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, comment in the comment section below, and let me at you next. And as always, hit that sub button. I'm locked in. Aang, the Avatar, the last Airbender, Earth.
Hello everyone, it's your host, Seth the Programmer. Today we're going to be going over a new series on the channel, that series being Avatar, The Last Airbender. Now, I wanted to go over this topic due to a few reasons. One, I'm a genuine fan of the series, but another, a lot of people like to throw poor Aang in a lot of versus battles without knowing much about him on Twitter or whatever social media. Examples being anything from Aang versus...
Y'all do be throwing Aang in them versus battles like Aang not the, Y'all do be throwing Aang in them versus battles like Aang ain't the last Airbender, bro. Like he ain't the Avatar. And in some of the battles, y'all don't even have him going into his Avatar state. Like, what's the point in having him fight if he's not gonna pull off his strongest move?
Hunter x Hunter, or Aang versus Goku. There's a lot of range there due to lack of knowledge on the subject. Now,
who the fuck put Aang against Goku? And watch somebody in the comment section be like, Aang can beat Goku, low diff. I'm gonna let you have it, bro.
I'm not claiming I'm some big-brained Avatar scaling deity or anything, and you must listen to my objective facts, but I think it was about time we settled where Aang should be on the pecking order for good. So for this video, we'll be going over more of Aang's scaling and feats comparatively to other series, more in the sense of, say, a video like Kratos versus Thanos, than an interverse scaling video like what we did with Hunter x Hunter's Phantom Troop versus Meruem. I also want to do this video because I feel as though many people surprisingly downplay Aang extremely due to the nature of the show not being as flashy and shoving its feats down the viewers' throats all the time, which causes many people to think, well, maybe he can destroy a small building with a big rock or something like that. My goal in this video is to somewhat negate that view of the series. Before we start, if you do like these kinds of nerdy talks, maybe you just like to relax and listen to some breakdowns of series you know and enjoy, consider liking and giving me a sub. It really means a lot. Thank you.
I think I'll do that, my boy. I think I'll do that.
When most people talk about the power of Aang, they are usually referencing his Avatar state. The Avatar state is basically a collection of all of the Avatar's past lives being sort of brought to the surface by the ancient spirit Rava, who resides within all of the Avatars. This spirit, but he is also drawing strength and knowledge from all of the past Avatars as well. Avatar Roku credits the glow to this. A fun fact about Korra's beginnings episodes that some people have a problem with the first Avatar Wan, it's actually confirmed in the episode commentary that this beginnings with Wan was actually thought of by Book 2 Earth from original Avatar, rather than being thought up in Book 2 of Legend of Korra. So it's kind of interesting that Roku made this statement in Book 2 Earth. Maybe they thought of the beginning series more later in the book, or maybe he's actually just right, or we'll never know. Roku just...
Hey, the annoying part about some of these like animes and mangas is nothing ever, like most of the time, some shit never connects. Like they just be going, like they don't like the difference between manga stories and which makes book stories is the author thinks of everything beforehand and then it goes over it and over it and over it. For some reason with manga, it doesn't seem like everything is thought of. It seems like they just go on a slate and they go and they get to a point where they're like, well, how does this make sense if this before this happened and now this is happening? There's no way to like, what am I trying to say? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like there's no way to pinpoint when this whole thing happened and blah blah blah. And they're just like, who cares? It's a manga. And they just keep going. Like it's crazy. Cause some manga stories be, I ain't gonna lie, they be ass.
Doesn't even really know about the lion turtles all too well, so it's not far-fetched to say he wouldn't know of Wan or anything of the true state of the Avatar as well. Regardless, the previous Avatars have an array of feats and hacks abilities themselves that must be calculated when considering Aang's strength. Another did you know is that Aang was actually confirmed to have been kept alive in the glacier, not due to the Great Spirit Rava, but due to the power of the actual avatars within him, showing that the actual avatars have an influence over him and his abilities, not just Rava, which some people actually disagree with. A great example of these avatars gaining strength and knowledge is in Book 1, Air of the Legend of Korra. Aang actually appears before Korra and bestows her not only her bending back, but also granting her new abilities such as the Avatar State Mastery and Energy Bending, which are things she did not have before. We also see in the original Last Airbender series that whenever Aang enters the Avatar state, he is able to use all forms of bending,
All
even
four
regardless
elements.
of never learning them yet. Additionally, it's shown that the previous avatars appear before the current one to bestow knowledge and wisdom, and can be summoned by the current avatar, such as when Aang summoned the previous 4 avatars on the back of the lion turtle. I think a given for the avatars being within Aang is that he possesses the raw combat experience of dozens to thousands of people that probably trained their whole lives within him, but they offer more than just raw combat experience.
Would y'all call Avatar a manga? Because I just said mangas, but I don't true. Is Avatar a manga? I don't think Avatar is a manga. I think it's a cartoon. But even so, like still, like people fuck up the writing a lot. So it's like
Compound this, the previous avatar can act independent of the current avatar, such as Roku being able to rip Aang's soul out of his body, even while he's in the avatar state, which is important to note as Aang possesses hundreds if not thousands of souls within him, once again depending on how many you think are actually there. This may also give Aang the ability to actually remove or manipulate the souls of others as well in the avatar state, giving Aang a unique attacking option that isn't negated by standard.
But here's the thing: if when he goes into the Avatar state, he can master all 4 elements. Why would people not think there's a numerous amount of avatars in him? There has to be if he's like if he's using all 4 elements. It's not just one avatar controlling him.
Durability or power. A somewhat contentious subject is whether the avatar can bend and shoot lightning like Fire Lord Ozai, Iroh, or Princess Azula. Of course, the avatar never really uses this technique, as especially earlier in the series it was considered a one-shot takedown ability or seriously dangerous. So if the avatar just started blasting at people, it would show bloodlust, which isn't really representative of the avatar's character. But there is a decent case for Avatar Roku knowing it. In The Legend of Korra, the Art of the Animated Series, Book 1 Air, we learned that in the future, many people can now lightning bend and use it for utility, such as powering devices and machinery, etc. But back in the day, it was extremely exclusive, usually exclusive to the inner circles of Fire Nation royalty and high-ranking military officers. Considering this was long after people started learning that firebending was in fact real, and that Roku is considered either incredibly high-ranking to the point that the Fire Lord listens to him and he wears the prince's crown, or is just considered straight up royalty. If you consider this era the era in which lightning bending was available to the royalty isn't far-fetched, then even Aang in the Avatar state should be able to shoot it if need be. Avatar Sito in the past was able to trigger volcanoes to erupt, which may also imply the Avatar has this unique and rare lava bending ability as well.
He's going over all the power that the Avatar has. Here's the thing: when are we gonna get to power scaling? Okay, here we go, feats. But here's the thing: I don't think there's an ability on the planet, whatever is it's Earth. I'm guessing in Avatar. I don't think there's there's an ability he does not have. Like he literally has thousands of souls within him, and when he goes into the Avatar state, so I'm pretty sure he can do anything.
Which is exaggerated more in Korra and with the Red Lotus. These are of course just some abilities the Avatar could possess that some weren't very aware of, but to get more into his feats, the Avatar has blatant feats that most talk about, and then more intricate and detailed scaling using the lore we'll go over later that isn't so talked about. In the past, Avatar Roku lived on a volcanic island that was home to a small settlement. Of course, a volcano is prone to erupt, and such a thing did happen. This would begin the sequence that Aang describes as fighting a volcano. Avatar Roku is able to part lava, and this is pretty consistent with Avatar Sito being able to actually cause volcanoes to blatantly erupt. Many calculate forcing a volcano or even multiple volcanoes to erupt would require around 1.6 by 10 to the 17 joules, or 40 megatons of TNT worth of force, which is pretty much rivaling the SAR nuclear bomb, the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated by mankind. The SAR is slightly larger at around 50 to 60 megatons, but 40 is pretty much there. Rest in peace, Meruem. In the Rise of Kyoshi novel, it's stated that an uncontrolled avatar could throw around land masses. Cambridge Dictionary's definition for landmass being a large area of land, such as a continent that is in one piece and not broken up by oceans, with some other definitions saying things such as large islands, etc. So she either broke up a very large island or an entire continent. So you guys decide on that one. This makes the Sito and Roku feats very consistent, if not an extremely low end on the scale, with Roku mainly dying to being poisoned from the toxins and gases from the volcano, and he was not killed in his avatar state, and on top of such, he was a much older man. This is because if you die in the avatar state, the avatar cycle will end, which obviously Aang is an avatar, so that was not the case. Avatar Kyoshi is also known to casually separate.
Wait, if you how does the avatar what they it just makes it just gets annoying because it's like how? Why?
Islands and so on as well. These feats of Kyoshi have been calculated anywhere from 1.3 gigatons, and with Kyoshi's spirit reappearing and creating a storm which has been calculated 2.4 gigatons, making the SAR bombs look like a fart. Some other people calculate these things to be more like, oh well, she can destroy a large town. Once again, it kind of depends on who you ask. Some people also disagree if Kyoshi actually created a storm.
Here's the thing, bro. I don't think the creative of when people make animes, mangas, when people make mangas, bro, they don't sit there and think like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this manga, and it's just gonna be a manga of just like great storytelling, how Avatar is, or just like the character development of Aang is probably one of the greatest, and whatever it is, cartoon history or whatever you want to call it, it's probably one of the greatest in cartoon history, which is why it's so good. The Avatar one with Aang. But the problem is, when you make these characters and just focus on the story, then people go and say, "Oh, they're not that strong," in which they were never made to be. Aang isn't Superman. He wasn't made to be he was made to understand defeat, to feel defeat. He was made it's for his character development. When you go and make these OP ass characters like One Punch Man, there's no character. One Punch Man, Saitama, that's his name, right? Saitama has no character development at all. He has no character development at all. At least Sun Jin Woo has character development to where you see him go from weak to strong. You don't see Saitama go from weak to strong. You just see him as the One Punch Man. They be like, "What'd you do? 100 push-ups?" Like it's just dumb, and it makes the anime dumb and lackluster, which they have to make up for in power, which most animes do. If you're looking at Avatar and you're comparing Avatar to Dragon Ball, stop watching cartoons and anime because you're looking for the wrong reason. Avatar is made literally for character development and it's literally made for character development, bro, and to give you a great story. Dragon Ball is just made to show you how fucking strong people are. One Punch Man, it's made to just show you how strong people are. Like there's no character development in some of these animes, which Dragon Ball does have character development, but it's not a great character development. Gohan he was supposed to be the strongest Saiyan, and then he goes to school, and then he comes back, and he's stronger than like he doesn't. We never see Gohan's train, but somehow because he has untapped potential, he can turn into Beast Gohan. Like when you pick an anime, an anime or cartoon, compare it to what it is. If you're gonna compare Avatar to something, you have to compare it to something that's about storytelling, where the characters aren't just almighty powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have to compare Avatar to probably just like a lower scale Naruto, probably in the Pain arc, because Pain obliterated the town with Almighty Push. After that, it's cooked. You can't compare it. I don't get how people are saying, "Oh, Avatar versus One Punch Man, Avatar versus Goku, Avatar versus Naruto, Avatar versus bro." He wasn't made for that reason. Like he's never gonna win a fight. He wasn't made to blow up planets and shit.
She just brought up some dust or something. People have different interpretations for Avatar, even the more blatant things. But if you do consider it, even the stars that were being designed that were later deemed to be too massive to ever be safely tested by all of humanity would be a baby burp compared to what Kyoshi just did there. These are more simply the more physically displayed and shown things the avatars have done, certainly not building level or large rock level like many would imagine from Aang's battle in the actual show. However, the next level of scaling beyond that, and this is a huge debate to be had, is Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra both are an extremely inspired series, and this can be heard especially in this Legend of Korra's episode commentaries featuring the writers of the show. Many of these inspirations are things such as Taoism and Hindu philosophy, in which many concepts are based on, more specifically, the spirits and origins of the Avatar universe. In the universe, there are spirits that embody the moon, spirits that embody light and dark, yin and yang, spirits that separated all things, and so forth. These are Rava, the spirit of light, are stated by the spirit world to be the almighty spirits. Constant state of conflict, as in the words of Michael DiMartino, the co-creator Avatar, they are light and dark, with their names representing yin and yang. Not to be confused with the koi fish, Tui and La, who more than likely actually do represent yin and yang, as described by the face stealer Ko and imagined by Aang in his head. Kind of directly scale them higher than other beings such as Tui and La, if you interpret it that way, as obviously almighty could simply just mean very great as well and be more on the vague side. Either are directly stated to be representations of light and darkness as universal concepts. Tui and La gave themselves mortal and susceptible weak bodies to bring balance to the normal world, being the moon and the
We get it.
ocean themselves. Once Tui, the moon spirit, is damaged by the firebender Zhao, the world not only loses its moon, but the entire world is stated to be losing its balance. This causes everything to turn gray, even as Tui is confirmed to not even be dead, as it's confirmed in the Lost Scrolls, water, but simply sick. This still happens, with Iroh confirming that even firebenders need the moon spirit to be alive, as it represents more than what Zhao thinks, Zhao thinking it only represents the moon and water.
Yo, General Zhao, dumbass, like, bro, when I seen this episode when I was a kid, bro, I was like, bro, you got to be the biggest jackass in the world.
Waterbending, when in deeper terms it represents a component of yin-yang and balance itself. In response to this, Aang fuses and becomes one with the ocean spirit, forming the ocean monster, which represents the entire ocean's wrath itself. Considering La is literally a parallel to Tui, the moon spirit, it'd be pretty logically consistent to say that Aang just fused the spirit powerful enough to generate entire oceans and possibly a moon itself, if not far, far more, with a more detailed analysis on them. But even on the surface level, he could potentially be that power with a certain interpretation. Obviously, for things like speed and Avatar, you can just go over, oh, well, they shoot lightning at close ranges, they can react to lightning. No one really cares about that, because I want to get more detailed concepts, maybe in a future video if I ever do like a verse.
Which would make you immeasurable in speed. If you're dodging lightning, it'd make you damn near immeasurable in speed.
Versus battle, I can talk more about the speeds. Now, what I'm going to be talking about is a bit nutty, so you can take it or leave it. Once again, I am not saying this is 100% true. I'm just saying there's an argument to be had, okay? I've gone through the important stuff here, but this is just for a bit of fun. This isn't going to be some in-depth analysis of Eastern religions, so keep that in mind as we go forward. It's blatantly obvious that Avatar draws from Eastern religions for many of its important concepts, such as Taoism, as I stated before, but some of the books, such as Art of the Animated Series Spirits, detailed concepts from Hinduism and Buddhism, such as stating that the cosmic being Korra sees, the same one we see within Aang, is in fact her universal self, and that Korra achieves something called Atman when she faces Unavatu, which Martin DiMartino, the co-creator of Avatar, makes a direct comparison to. He doesn't even say it's like Atman. He just says it's literally his interpretation of what Korra becomes. Atman from Hindu philosophy. Considering he's the author.
Hey, bro, listen, I'm gonna need you to stop with the One Piece fillers, bro. The One Piece fillers are pissing me off. Just tell me. I don't feel like listening to you and feel like I'm watching One Piece, bro.
His quote-unquote interpretation is a little more blatant than ours and more so resides in the realm of this is what's actually happening. So I'm going to word this carefully as to prevent a debate on Hindu canon and debates on theology in general. I'm just trying to scale a kid with an arrow on his head from a Nickelodeon cartoon after all. Obviously the peak of theology and existence and stuff, but anyway, Atman is a Hindu concept of self-realization with your universal self, which is beyond identification, with concepts like non-dual dualism, the ultimate reality Brahman, and with it being something called Beta Beta, which is non-dualism and dualism, which would be extending into many valued logic. The reason Atman and Korra are important, as we know obviously that Korra in this state
So what? Carl went Ultra Instinct.
of being fights against Unavatu, which is the combination of Unalaq and Vatu, or the quote-unquote Dark Avatar, and while they have a pitched battle, and it's implied Unavatu wins by catching Atman Korra or Cosmic Korra off guard, the fact that they are still in the same weight class means the almighty spirits would scale to this state of Atman. To go into detail, Brahman also connects to Buddhism, which the Airbenders are directly stated to be based after, specifically Tibetan Buddhism. Para Brahman being a diva spawned from Uvalokiteshwara in a sutra, or more commonly
Damn, my boy, I ain't gonna lie. I'm proud of you because you pronouncing you pronouncing these names. You pronouncing it. Uka Makabeba, Uka Makabeba. No disrespect. You pronouncing these names,
known
bro.
as Guanyin, Para Brahman being the ultimate reality beyond conception and identification. Tui and La themselves being stated to be yin and yang, if you take Face Stealer Ko said, would kind of make them beyond the concepts of time and space being contained or even made irrelevant by either one of the koi fish and being surpassed with the concepts of Atman. The reason Atman is beyond time and space is obviously because Atman is beyond identification itself by literal definition. It is also non-dual and dual, meaning any concept that has
I have not watched The Legend of Korra. I do have to watch The Legend of Korra. I just thought we were going over Aang.
duality is beneath Atman, including the very concepts of physics, time, space, dimensions, mathematics, the universe, the multiverse, the hyperverse, or the omniverse, etc., etc. The Mother of Faces, which comes from the Avatar comic series, herself was said to bring separateness into the world, which would mean she created dualism itself in the Avatar world, which is the state of anything being something different. Disregarding what I said previously, this would make her insanely powerful, especially if you consider the material and spirit universes actual universes, which she would have had split apart, which are stated to be overlapping and implied to be parallel. The spirit world itself even showing it has its own nebulas and possible infinite expansion like a universe and so forth. To follow the Mother of Faces connection to Taoism, she would have created the Taiji from Wuji, Wuji being before differentiation, which is an obvious connection.
Here's the thing, bro. All in all, if you're comparing Avatar to Hunter x Hunter, I mean that might. And I haven't watched a lot of animes, but I've watched a lot of animes, and the only anime I could see, maybe you can you can't even compare Avatar to probably like Seven Deadly Sins. 'Cause- And I'm just talking about strength. Now you could compare Avatar to Seven Deadly Sins in strength. I don't think Meliodas has any like crazy ass feats that's like planet level destroying.
As
You can basically compare Avatar to anything that isn't planetary level
through
destroying.
her separateness came into the world.
Anything beyond that, he's cooked.
Wuji itself is a concept beyond space, time, and dimensions, beyond yin and yang, as said above, and Taiji, which is the vagueness before duality came into existence. Since the value and the very author's own interpretation of mean what it did, then the Avatar is actually quite the menacing force in versus battles indeed, and he honestly quite surprised me considering what I thought coming into this video. Or maybe he's like large nuclear bomb level. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, that last section there with all of the Buddhist philosophy, the Hindu stuff, that is mainly up for debate. But if you really like the Avatar and you want him to be strong,
Nah, it's not really up for debate because he does say that she literally became a god, but that's not Aang. You see what I'm saying? I think Aang stays like what would you even call that? Like I think Aang could destroy like a country, a continent. I don't think Aang could destroy a planet though. Like, I think if Aang wanted to, he could like I mean, we could do the more. I mean, he could destroy the planet, bro. Because in the Avatar state, he is the master of all four elements. He could blow up a volcano. He could flood the world if he wanted to. So I mean, but like, here's the thing: and the amount of time it would take him to do it. You talking about Goku? I mean, Saitama versus Aang. Saitama just got to punch the earth and it's over. Aang gotta flood it. He gotta flood it. He gotta set fire to it. He gotta blow down buildings. Like it's just it's not even a debate.
Just run that argument home. This video was a lot of fun to make. It was
But I will say that Avatar is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Like, forget Power itself, it's one of the greatest cartoons ever made. There's nobody I know that does not like Avatar. Avatar or The Legend of Korra Avatar, which I still have to watch. There's nobody that doesn't like it. So like, yeah, that lets you know a lot. But without further ado, that's it for my reaction. If you enjoy my reaction, leave a like, comment down in the comment section below. Let me at you next, and as always, hit that sub button.